Mask with the numbers drop. I don't want COVID, lay you down flat. Nose and mouth, you fi cover up that. Sanitizer, get hospitalized. Fight the virus, then fight for your life, yeah. Nobody talk about say you no response no more. Don't be reckless, cause you test say you not have it. You can still get the virus from somebody. Don't be reckless, cause you test say you not have it. You can still get the virus. So keep the numbers down. Protect yourself and the people around. COVID in town, 6 feet apart and 6 feet in the ground. Yeah. Keep the numbers down. Protect yourself and the people around. COVID in town, 6 feet apart and 6 feet in the ground. Stay alive, stay alive, stay alive, stay alive, stay alive.
This is for the little child without a father, for that man that doesn't have a place to stay, for that little boy living with hate. This is my story. There's a man standing on the corner. He has no home, he has no food, and his blue skies are gone. Can you hear him cry? Oh Lord, there's a girl searching for a father and a friend, praying that the storm will someday end. But instead of walking away, open up your heart and say, I am here. You don't have to worry, I can see your tears. I'll be there in a hurry when you call. Friends are there to catch you when you fall. Ease my shoulder, you can lean on me. Well, there's a child who is sick and begging to be free, but there is no cure for his disease. He looked up to his mother as she holds his hand, praying that someday the sun will shine again and the pain will end. I am here. You don't have to worry, I can see your tears. I'll be there in a hurry when you call. Friends are there to catch you when you fall. Here's my shoulder, you can lean on me. Tell me how can I love Jesus when I never seen his face? Yet if I see you dying, I wouldn't turn and walk away. So hold my hand and let me take you to a friend of mine who is waiting just to ease your troubled mind. He loves you more than you'll ever know. Instead of walking away, open up your heart and say, there's a man standing on the corner. He has no home, he has no food, and his blue skies are gone. Can you hear him cry? Oh Lord, I am here. You don't have to worry, I can see your tears. I'll be there in a hurry when you call. Friends are there to catch you when you fall. I'm living for Jesus, living for Jesus, living for Jesus, yeah. Oh, I wanna be remembered as a man who sings songs for Jesus Christ, who was willing to lay down his life, do his will no matter what the price. Well, I'm singing
the station with the artist station with the artist music.
Man, alone. Live for Jesus, that's what matters. And when other houses crumble, man, be strong. Live for Jesus, that's what matters. Let you see the light in me and come along. La 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 la. There are times when I am tempted to turn off the rugged road that traveled on. There are times when I say, Jesus, can you find another man to sing your song? Well, I know I'm not the whole.
Well. Good afternoon, viewers and listeners. This is Rebel Radio, today, Monday. And we are going to kickstart this evening's program by talking to the chairman of the National Democratic Movement, Mr. Mike Williams. Mike, how are you?
I am very well, man. Very, very well.
Yes. So what's on your mind today?
Well, the state of affairs in Jamaica.
Yes.
The state of affairs in Jamaica is very bad. Because we don't seem to have any political party that is interested in Jamaica. They are only interested in themselves and promoting their own party. I tell you, the death penalty should be instituted again in Jamaica, right? The PNP government, when KD Knight was there, he changed up the whole death penalty system. And people in parliament, because they are Alibaba parliament, they don't want to institute a death penalty because they are the ones who benefit from not instituting the death penalty. But the people of Jamaica want the death penalty. The last surveys that were done, over 90% of the people want the death penalty.
Yes.
For murder, especially first-degree murder. First-degree murder is premeditated murder. That means you plan to kill somebody and you go and kill them. And if you plan to kill somebody and you go and kill them, you should lose your life. Why is it that we as taxpayers must pay to keep that person in prison and him take somebody's life? And in Jamaica now, a lot of people taking people's life because of money. Money is the root cause of taking people's life right now. People are paying people to take people's life, or they're scamming people. And when the scamming money don't share up properly, one scammer go and kill the other scammer. That is premeditated murder.
Yes.
And they should go and that should be the death penalty. Why is it that the Alibaba, jail, PNP want to propose 45 years in jail or 20 years in jail for first-degree murder? That don't make sense. If you go and kill a life, you must lose your life.
Okay.
That's the only true way of preventing murder. You can't go sit down in jail for 45 years or 20 years. One party is proposing 20 years, and the other party proposing 45 years. The taxpayers must pay to keep that man in jail. Or that woman, after them done kill somebody premeditated.
Right. So
that don't make sense.
What you are saying is NDM policy would be to resume hanging.
Yes.
Yes.
We must give them a speedy trial. We mustn't make them languish in jail. And we must do a proper investigation to make sure that that person is the right person to do the killing.
Yes.
I would prefer 10 men to go free than one innocent man get hanged.
Yes.
But I want to make sure that the guilty person is the person that is being hung. That is the justice system that we need in Jamaica.
Right.
Right?
But Mike.
We need a proper justice system.
Yes.
So that the right person that do the killing is the person that must get the death penalty.
Yeah. What is your take? What is your take on the current situation in the financial sector right now? With the SSL saga. What is your take on that?
Well, let me tell you, that is a little bit complicated. The general take is that it is very bad for Jamaica. And this occurred because the people that the FSL, that is the government body that should oversee the proper running of stocks and securities, those persons were not doing their job properly. Because a red flag went up more than 10 years ago on the operations of the stocks and security. And the people in the FSC did not do anything about it. And they should be held accountable criminally for the loss of those and 40 people who have lost their money.
Yes, but they made report in which they made recommendation. It is not the FF. I don't think it is their responsibility to close down if that was one of the recommendations.
Yes, they should have.
Yes,
they should have. They have that power. You know that the Financial Services Commission.
Yes.
They are, although they are owned by government, they have a budget of over $1 billion a year.
Yes, that is paid. That money.
It don't cost the taxpayers of Jamaica any money to run Financial Services Commission. You know.
No, I know.
Because they have their own financial.
Yes.
Well, they should be held accountable. And they are the ones who should pay back that money, not the taxpayers of Jamaica. Because they are the ones who are delinquent in not closing down stocks and securities when they should have closed them down.
Yes. And
so if any money must, and those people who lose them job, they should try to find a way to either send them to jail or collect back the money from them for their delinquency.
Yes.
Them should just walk away in the sunset with them. But one of them, the managing director here, was getting almost $20 million a year.
The 18 million per annum.
Yes.
Yes. But the other question is where is the money? So far, one worker has confessed stealing over 90 million. But that does not include Bolt's money at all. So where is the balance? Who took the money from the other accounts, and who took Bolt money? These are questions that. Yeah.
Well, I believe that we should hold Nigel Clark, the Minister of Finance. He said he's going to give us full transparency. Well, we must start getting it from now. He must start releasing all the information that him have. He mustn't wait piecemeal to give it to us. As the investigation go on, he must tell us what happened to the money. Yeah. We want to hold his word. Him say his word is his bond. Well, him promise us 100% transparency. We want to know.
Yeah. And
the FBI have come in because some of the people that have money there are American citizens. right?
Is that
and
so?
the FBI is doing it, then we must get that report also. We must find out what they have done, what their investigation turn up.
And the people must get back
And-
their money.
Well, of course, if it can be proven. I hear a lot of things about the Pantan lady owning apartment complex. Those things must be seized and sold so that people can get back their money.
If that is true.
If that is true.
Yes. Well, we are waiting to see. First of all, what's the terms of reference for the FBI? The last thing I read in a report that they will be doing their work from their headquarters in the Dominican Republic. So apparently, I don't know if officers will be physically in Jamaica, and are they going to do whatever they are asked to do, required to do from abroad.
It don't matter where them do it, my friend.
Yes.
What we want is to know what they have done. We want transparency.
Yes.
Anything that is done must come to light. The light of the light of must shine on it so that everybody can see it. Mustn't be done in darkness.
Yes, of course.
That is what we must insist on.
Yes.
We must insist. Just as minister say he's going to make it 100% transparent, we must hold him to 100% transparent.
Yes, yes. Yes, of course. I agree with that. I'm in total agreement with that. The other issue that I see now is that local government elections, from all indications, are going to be postponed again.
Well, that is something that both parties are guilty of.
Yes.
I remember PNP postponing local government elections indefinitely. GLP come and postpone local government elections indefinitely because of one thing that was promised to us and not given to the people of Jamaica: fixed date for elections. We must and fixed date for elections. It can't be because PNP don't find it convenient for have elections, so them don't call it. GLP don't find it convenient for call elections, so them don't call it.
Yeah.
That is rubbish.
Yes, yes.
Elections must be called at a fixed date, at a fixed time. Owens promised us that when he was leader of the opposition, as him come in, him change his mind. Just like I'm changing mind on corruption. Right? I'm going to make everything transparent. Well, whole heap of man who is member of parliament, who getting salary of $8 or $9 million a year, billing $30 million a year apartment, and we don't know where them get the money from. We're not taking transparency.
Yes, yes.
We get the Alibaba system.
I can't see what you're saying, right? So,
Right. Alibaba had 40 teeth, you know.
Yes.
The whole parliament has 63 people. So that is why I call them Alibaba.
Yeah. So at the local level, the people, we will have to wait some more to decide who represent us at the local level. And if
That
not,
is slackness.
and
That is slackness.
yeah, there are some
We must call it what it is. It is slackness.
yes.
We're all right. I'm saying couldn't call it because of COVID. Well, COVID done 2 years now. You are in second year when COVID done.
Well, COVID is not over, but it has, reduced.
Look here, if less than 25% of the Jamaican people vaccinate, then and COVID and it is literally it's just like another disease, the virus.
Yes.
We live in the sun. You know, the best cure for those viruses is the sunlight, vitamin D. Everybody does stop, cover up, and go out in the sun and enjoy life.
Yes. Yes. Right.
We live in a country that have the second highest sunshine in the world. Second highest sun in the world.
Yeah.
And the COVID don't like sunshine. Vitamin D.
Yes. And last week I spoke to the Minister of National Security, and he assured my audience, and he has assured the public, that this year the government is working to ensure that the murder rate is reduced significantly this year. Now, what are some of the programs that you, from your perspective, that are needed in order to ensure that that promise is materialized?
Well, let me tell you something. The police force, crime is the biggest problem in Jamaica. The biggest problem right now is crime. And education and health. Those are the front burner problems. Crime, you cannot solve crime in Jamaica with a police force that is 50% understaffed. We need to get more police personnel on the ground.
Yes.
That is number one.
Right.
To get more police personnel on the ground, we need to pay the police better. So we can attract more people from university to join the police force. We're not doing that. We're getting pure lip service for that.
Well,
the education system is another problem. Where education has the biggest budget in Jamaica, right? The biggest budget. But we're not getting value for the money for education. We're not educating the people from early childhood level. That's number two. The health service. I want to remind every Jamaican person that listens to this program that every minister of government and every senator in the parliament get free health service from the taxpayers of this country. And that free health service include air ambulance to any country in North America. Paid for by the taxpayers of Jamaica. So those parliamentarians don't have to go to KPH, and then don't have to go to university, and then don't have to go to Cornwall Regional, because they have air ambulance support to any hospital they want to go to in North America. And that is why the health service is the way it is, because them don't have to go there.
Yes.
What we must do is insist that we taxpayers don't pay for air ambulance to go to anywhere. We must cut out that. Make them go to university and make them go to KPH, and you'll find to see how quick the health service improve in this country. I am telling you, one of the policies of the NDM will be to cut out that. We're going to cut out that. Anybody that wants air ambulance support and want to go abroad for them health service, they must pay for it out of their own money. We mustn't pay for it.
Okay.
How can we be giving the parliamentarians, paying them to go abroad while we have to suffer and take the health service where them give us?
Yes. Yes, yes.
Right?
Yes.
If it is good for us, it must be good for them.
Yes, of course. So let them improve the health service and make it be first class so that all of us
Them can go there. So
Yeah.
them can go there.
Yes. And you are saying that as it relates to crime, they need more boots on the ground. Well, the minister says that he is moving to push the establishment, the force, to increase the numbers up to between 13 and 15,000 members.
How much?
Between 13 and 15,000 this year.
Well, right now,
Yes.
the previous government did a trick on us because we had 8,000 red seam and approximately 3,000 blue seam, and them turned everything into red seam. Although blue seam and red seam never have the same qualifications to join the force. That was 11,000, and they must add another 1,000 to it, make it 12,000 red seam and blue seam on the ground. If you include DC, there's district police, right? You might carry it up to 13,000. But we need 25,000 police to make the police force really effective. We need 25,000, and them not putting out the budget to do that because successive governments don't see the need for pay the police better to get better police men and women in the force. So that is the first thing they must do. They must pay the police better.
Yes.
And that is why that the NDM is going to ensure that it does. Pay the police better so we have better police, better training, better recruitment, better equipment. Imagine them putting out policemen and women now, and them don't give them bulletproof vests. A simple thing like buying proper enough bulletproof vests. Them don't buy it.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Those,
what is Harshchang talking about?
well, he's
You want
promised.
to put out
He has
police
promised.
out bulletproof vests?
He has promised to improve those items. To make, in other words, it's not just the increase in the numbers. He has promised that equipment that they are going to improve on equipment. They are going to improve on infrastructure, and they are going to improve on numbers.
Them don't give us timeline. It don't mean nothing.
This year he's talking about. This year.
Well,
These are
my question.
these are what he has identified as the factors that must be in place in order for us to fight and reduce the murder rate considerably this year.
Well, the first thing I want him to do is to bring in bulletproof vests for every police member, especially the new ones that going out. Every police personnel should have a bulletproof vest.
Yes.
No police person should be out there without a bulletproof vest because the criminal them is well armed.
Yes, of course. Yeah. So, Mike, what are some of the other NDM initiatives, programs that you...
Well, aside from the police force, we are going to start early childhood education from 2.7 to 2 3/4. Every person, we are going to institute early childhood education paid for by the taxpayers of Jamaica. Right now, our education system starts at 5.5 compulsory education. Well, education is going to start from 2.5 compulsory. And we're going to upgrade all the early childhood institutions to bring them up to a standard, the same standard for everyone right across the island. We have to find a way to do it. Because did you look at the report that came out of the Ministry of Education that the minister herself is trying to hide?
Which
It says that 30% of the children leaving high school cannot read and write. In 2022, June of 2022, 30% cannot read and write. And the other 50% cannot reason. No, that is a state of terrible.
Yes.
We have to correct that. And it can be corrected easy by starting early child education at 2 3/4.
What is 2 3/4? What is that?
2 years and 3/4.
Okay.
All of them must be in school,
Yes.
be in an early child institution, and they're going to learn the real 3 R's: reading, reasoning, and respect.
Yes.
Those are the things that those children need to learn at an early age: reading, reasoning, and respect.
Yes.
That is the real 3 R. Don't tell me about reading, writing, and arithmetic is 3 R, because that is bogus.
Okay. Yes.
And once we get an educated society, you can't fool those children anymore, because they can read and reason.
Yes, of course. What else on your agenda?
And we're going to fix the health service. Because the first thing we're going to do is cut out that thing where any minister can jump on a plane and go where he want to go and get health service. You know how this thing hurt me with Roger Clark? You remember Roger Clark?
Yes, I remember Roger.
You know how Roger Clark died? You remember?
Yes. He died.
He check out a hospital in Florida. Because him say he can't take it there no longer. He have to come home. And the doctor say you shouldn't leave. And check himself out and go to the airport in Fort Lauderdale and drop dead.
Yes.
All that was paid for by taxpayers of Jamaica.
Yes. So your government would remove that.
Put out that right away.
Yes.
And improve the health service so that every member of parliament go to local hospital or pay his own insurance and go abroad. He will pay for it himself. We're not denying nobody
So
the right to go abroad.
So
we're not paying for it.
Healthcare will be free?
No, we are not saying healthcare must be free. We are saying healthcare must be ability to pay. If you don't have the money to pay, you get it free.
Yes.
But if you have the money to pay, you don't get it free.
Okay.
Ability to pay. If you have the ability to pay, then you can pay for it.
Yes.
If you don't have the ability to pay, then you get it free.
And what is the same principle that you would use to deal with education, those who can afford to pay?
Absolutely. But we're going to keep the common entrance because that's a great incentive.
Yes.
That's a great incentive. What I'm calling now GSAT.
Yes.
The exam.
Yes.
Because it encourages people to strive.
Yes. So health and education would be...
They're going to improve all the education at the early childhood level first.
Yes.
Then we go to primary school. Then we go to high school.
Yes. And you are saying that it will be dependent on the ability of parents to pay,
That's right.
and also healthcare dependent on the patient's ability to pay.
Right. That's right.
Okay, yes. Now, one of the big issues in the country is the question of landlessness. Over 1 million Jamaicans are landless. They are squatting in some of the most subhuman conditions. What is the NDM's plan for landlessness in the country?
Well, we don't have landlessness as a first priority. We have security, we have education, and we have health. If those persons have those three things, they won't be landless because they have the ability to buy land what they want. The landless is the people who are kept down by the system for 78 years. 78 years, the GLP and the PNP has been in power in this country. And they keep the people that way because they don't educate them. Once you educate them, people can buy land anywhere they want. People can afford land.
You're certain about that?
I'm positive.
Yes. So what are you going to do? What are NDM administration is going to do to ensure? No. Allow me.
We're going to improve the education and we're going to improve the security.
Yes.
And once we do those two things, everybody in Jamaica will be able to afford the land. And we're going to sell crown land to people.
Now, how will that?
Reasonable price.
No, tell me something. How will that impact wages in the country? Is your government is going to insist that employers pay higher wages?
Look here.
Yes.
Once a person is educated, that person can demand his salary.
No, but
you understand, education is the key. Right now, you have a lot of people who don't have any education and they can't demand a good salary. It is something that the GLP and the PNP put together to keep the people poor and ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to keep the people poor and ignorant anymore. So once you eliminate the poorness and the ignorance, right, then you'll have a better educated society that can demand any salary they want.
Yeah.
You're not grasping the concept, you know. Once you grasp the concept, so therefore, something like minimum wage will be eliminated because you will have everybody educated. Barbados is 98% of the people in Barbados are literate, you know.
Yes.
Barbados have an economy that is 3 times stronger than the Jamaican economy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And Barbados don't have nothing but sand and a little beach.
Yes.
Right? Because the people are educated.
But
we have to educate our people so they can negotiate and demand good salaries for their efforts.
Mm-hmm. But even in the United States, there's a wage guideline. There are.
The United States don't have the education system that we are proposing for Jamaica.
That is
why they're not that. But their wage guideline right now is $15 an hour.
Yes.
You know what $15 an hour is?
In the United States, it is $15.
Yes.
Mm.
and them looking for employers right now. Everywhere in the United States is a far higher sign,
Yes.
right? In the United States, no. Their unemployment is down to about 4%.
Yes. So your point is that once the educational standard is addressed, then
That's right.
the wage structure will automatically be addressed too. Will be addressed automatically.
That's right.
Right? And that will put workers in a position to acquire land.
Absolutely.
I see.
And we are going to sell the government land to those workers
Yes.
at reasonable price.
Yes. Okay. All right. That is good news for people who are landless today.
Of course.
Yes, yes. But so tell me something, or tell us something, Mike. What is the NDM doing right? Will the NDM be contesting the upcoming elections, local and general elections?
Well, let me tell you something. The political parties in Jamaica don't have incomes. The GLP get $1 billion a year to manage their party from taxpayer, from business people in this country. And the PNP get a similar amount. We're not getting any donations because we don't want to offer bribe or incentive to get donations. I remember me and my president, Sir P, went to a business place and we outlined our policies and we show that businessman how by supporting the NDM policies, he can increase his business by double because he'll have more persons to sell his goods to. And buying everything, take out a checkbook to give us a donation. And you know what he said to us?
No.
He said, what is in it for me? And we said, there's nothing in it for you personally. There's only what your company can earn by having more Jamaicans buy your goods.
Yes.
We thought that was a reasonable answer to him. But him said no. Him insist that what is in it for him personally.
Yes.
We have nothing to offer you more than a good government where everybody will strive and survive. And him close him checkbook and him walk away. And we said, thank you very much.
Okay.
Because that is a system that exists now with the GLP and the PNP. Every donation that the people give to the party, them expect something in return. Look at what is happening in the financial system right now. Big bank. You know that big banks, BNS and NCB and JMMB, they declare how much money them give the political parties annually, you know. You don't remember them declare?
Yes, they say how much they donate.
So why you think the government of the GLP and the PNP not regulating the banking system to do the things that we know that them need to do? Why is it that BNS in the first quarter can declare a profit after taxes of 13 billion Jamaican dollar for a quarter, you know? Not for a year, you know, for a quarter.
Yeah.
4 quarters make a year.
Yes.
because those banks are ripping off the Jamaican people when it comes to taxes and legislation and things that is supposed to be controlled.
Okay.
And they're not doing it. They're not doing it. JLP and the PNP are ripping off this country in so many ways that is a disgrace.
Yes.
And every party, every businessman that donates to JLP and the PNP, them get something.
So NDM is not promising that?
No, we're not promising that.
Okay.
We're promising good government, transparent government. Because transparency is the only thing that can keep a person from robbing you. And robbing the taxpayers of Jamaica. Transparency.
So
no thief wants to get caught.
Yes. So with that policy, obtaining donations from the private sector for NDM is virtually out then?
No, we are going to make it transparent. Everyone that donates to us, we're going to say, this man donate, and we're making it public. You know that the JLP and PNP have an election system where you don't have to disclose. What you disclose is the amount you get, but you don't disclose who you get it from. Because them gang together.
But remember, there's a disclosure system now. By the law was amended recently, and so that for $1
million.
Yes.
Under $1 million, you don't have to disclose it. Them raise the ceiling.
So what is your strategy? What is your party's strategy?
Everything must be disclosed.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I think when we were on the committee, we had proposed anything above $10,000 must be disclosed.
Yes.
And then raised it to over $1 million. I think them raised again from 1 million to must be 5 million or something like that.
Yes. I see. So that is the method that you intend to use, the party intend to use in order to get funding, donations from private sources.
Right.
Okay. And so as we speak, is the party attracting donors?
Well, we have to do some more packaging. We have to do some more packaging. Now we're in the process of doing that now. We're going to package a very attractive proposal to the people of Jamaica. When we finish doing that packaging, we will come and try and sell our policies to the Jamaican people again.
Yes. But
we feel that we will get a lot more support this time.
You don't have a lot of time, It's 2023. We are in 2023, and the next election is constitutionally due 2025. But next year can be an election year,
Yeah, because I do a fixed date for election. I can call it anytime we see them.
Right.
That is a bad policy. And we are going to change that also.
Okay. Yeah. And what do you think about the way how we are conducting foreign relations now?
Well, we always said, America is in our backyard. America is our biggest donor. America is our biggest trading partner. Right? we have to be with America.
Yes.
America is the biggest democracy. With all its faults, democracy is the best system in the world. With all its faults. Right? So we have to be with America.
Yes. Understood.
We must trade openly with everybody. We must make no secret deal. Every deal that we make must be open and transparent.
Yes. But we
but we have to have, where we are located in Jamaica, it suits us to trade with America and Canada first and foremost. We have to just understand our geography put us in that position.
yes. And therefore you wouldn't move any closer with any relations with China.
We will move close with every relation, but everything has to be transparent. We don't believe that what is happening with China is transparent enough.
Yes.
Right? It have to be transparent. What the Chinese is offering Jamaicans with roads and things is good, but we are not disclosing what we are giving back to China. Nothing is disclosed. Every announcement that you see the GLP and the PNP make up when it comes to China is what them giving us. They're not disclosing what we're giving them in return.
Yes.
And that is very, very important.
Yeah.
You can't have one-sided disclosure.
Well, we know in one case that they got land from Jamaica.
A whole heap of land, but we don't know where. We hear that the whole of the university land them gone to China. But nobody won't confirm it.
I know.
We hear that all the college will come and gone. Because of how much building them built for university. But they won't disclose it.
I recall hearing that land was given to China, land in St. Anne was given to China.
Of course.
Yeah.
But you know where?
I don't know. Where? I don't know exactly where, but there is.
Don't know.
Yes.
So we want full disclosure on both sides.
Yes.
Not only on one side.
Right. And what is the NDM's position with America's relationship with Cuba?
Well, we can't interfere with America's relationship with Cuba, right? But we know what our relationship with Cuba is excellent. And we must continue to have an excellent relationship with Cuba, despite what anybody else wants to do with Cuba. That's their business. But we must have a good relationship with Cuba, and we have done that. The both parties, I must commend them of keeping good relationship with Cuba, because we would do the same. But we're not interfering with what America wants to do with Cuba.
So
business.
So you don't think so NDM don't believe that they should lift the embargo?
Look here, we're not business with America and Cuba. We're business with Jamaica and Cuba.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
It's Jamaica and Cuba me dealing with, not America and Cuba.
Understood.
We have business with them.
Understood, sir. Understood. And so, what are is there any other area that you want to you would like to explore?
Not right now, my friend.
Yes.
Because we've been talking for a long time.
Yes.
If any of your people want to ask a question, I would gladly answer it for them.
Okay.
Right? And if later on, when we don't get a question now and the question come later, you just call me and I will give you the answer.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I want to thank you very much for taking time out to talk to Rebel Radio. And the platform here is open for you to return whenever you want to and let us discuss. That was Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, my brother.
Yeah. Well, that was the chairman of the National Democratic Movement, Mr. Mike Williams. This is Rebel Radio. Let us take a break.
Shensia with a message to you from myself and the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Shenyang, everyone say we are a mask where the numbers drop. I don't want COVID, lay you down flat. Nose and mouth, you fi cover up that. Oh, 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 oh. Sanitize or get hospitalized. Fight the virus, then fight for your life, yeah. Nobody talk about say you no response no more. Don't be reckless, cause you test say you not have it. You can still get the virus from somebody. Don't be reckless, cause you test say you not have it. You can still get the virus. So keep the numbers down. Protect yourself and the people around. COVID in town, 6 feet apart and 6 feet in the ground. Yeah. Keep the numbers down. Protect yourself and the people around. COVID in town, 6 feet apart and 6 feet in the ground. Stay alive, stay alive, stay alive, stay alive, stay alive, stay alive.
The station with the artist station with the artist.
No come here fi bring botheration. Me come here fi sing to the nation. Tell me why you make Satan corrupt your heart. Botheration, oh. Botheration, oh. Botheration, oh. Botheration, oh. Botheration, oh. And tomorrow when me come, and tomorrow when me come, and tomorrow when me come, and tomorrow when me come. Adoration, oh. Adoration, oh. Adoration, oh. Adoration, oh. Adoration, oh. And tomorrow when me come, and tomorrow when me come, and tomorrow when me come, and tomorrow when me come. Me just a come, me no want no adoration. Give me pass. Me just a come, me no want no adoration. Me just a come, me no want no adoration. Better play me tune. Me just a come, me no want no adoration. Adoration, oh. Adoration, oh. Adoration, oh. Adoration, oh. Adoration, oh. And tomorrow when me come, and tomorrow when me come, and tomorrow when me come, and tomorrow when me come. Adoration, oh. Adoration, oh. Adoration, oh. Adoration, oh. And tomorrow when me come, and tomorrow when me come, and tomorrow when me come, and tomorrow when me come. He say you can't go to heaven if you have bad mind. You can't go to heaven if you have bad mind. You can't go to heaven if you have bad mind. All bad mind have to stay behind. Jesus no one, no carnal mind. He say you can't go to heaven with your brother on your mind. You can't go to heaven with your sister on your mind. You can't go to heaven if you have bad mind. All bad mind have to stay behind. Jesus no one.
Yes, we are back with you listeners and viewers on Rebel Radio. And you know, today at this time on Mondays we talk about Be Sure. And you know, Be Sure is our program that is designed to for our listeners and viewers to provide them with information that they can use to prepare themselves for, in times of trouble. That is what this program is about. So it's a program that offers to our listeners and viewers ways how to protect yourself, protect your families, protect your business. We have with us life insurance salesman Lloyd Brim. Lloyd, are you there?
Yes, Desmond. Good evening to you and your listeners.
Good evening, sir. Good evening. And I think this week you had promised that we are going to focus or talk some more about business as part of an estate and how that is protected and should be protected for any eventuality. Have I captured that right?
Basically, Desmond.
Well, go ahead and share that information with us, sir.
Well, thank you, sir. Good evening to listeners. And as Desmond just said, we want to talk this evening about an estate that has a business in it. We have been talking about estate planning, which I might remind you is about building an estate over one's lifetime. And like everything else, the estate has to be, in fact, the estate covers everything you own. And it has to be distributed at any time and the owner dies.
Yes.
So we spoke about a number of things, some might have to look back at, but for today, let's look at an estate that has a business in it.
Yes.
Now, we have to do this a number of times because there are many different kinds of businesses. And the one we want to look at today is a sole trader. A sole trader is, as the word says, soul. My friend don't read so well, so him say, I'll buy him lonesome, him have everything. Nobody else have any risk in this business. Nobody else have any asset in this business. Nobody else have anything to lose or gain in this business. The sole trader owns the business 100%.
Yes.
The sole trader, he makes all the decisions in the business. He doesn't have to consult anyone. The liabilities of the business become a part of the owner's personal liability. And the assets in the business are the owner's personal assets. Now, how does the sole trader finance his business? Because he's taking all the risk. Sometimes he uses assets like his house or any other asset that is acceptable to do debt financing, to borrow money to run the business. Every aspect of money borrowing that the individual can qualify for is usually used. So people start the businesses, they start it with partners. People start the businesses, they are employed and they get redundant. People start businesses with money from different sources. Even some people, when they get a pension, they decide that going forward, so they end up starting a business. Now, what are some of the risks that the person is taking? They put their assets on the line, land, house, motor vehicle, any asset at all, and then they run the business the way they see it. Sadly, it is widely believed that at this level of business, lots of people run different books. That's what is being said. that is being...
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by running different books?
Well, there is the taxman, because if you are a sole trader,
Yes.
you have a constant partner. And that's the government, the taxman. So you don't come up front with every single transaction and all the details of the business and, revealing all of the profits and so on. People find ways, it is rumored, to do this.
Mm-hmm.
No, you can only stay away from the taxman while you are alive. You can only deceive him or leave him out at your own peril or the peril of your beneficiaries. So, the books that are kept, they should be presented for examination, and you should make a tax return so that the government can get its share of
Yes.
the proceeds of the business.
Mm-hmm.
The only time the government is not going to be in any great scenario is when you're running a losing business, because then you don't have any tax return to make. You don't pay any tax. So, based on the rumors and other things, they look around the business figures with a fine-tooth comb or a magnifying glass. You can always do things when you're alive, but once your estate is to be distributed, then that is when there's nobody to put these shortcomings or these wrongdoings undercover. They are all exposed. So the person who's running this business, the business is tied up with everything else that they own, is one package. So when the books are audited at the end of the time, any tax that is due and was not paid has to be paid, becomes a liability on the person's estate. And to recover the money, if the taxman doesn't get all the money from the assets of the business, then he will move on to the personal assets like your home, your vehicles, your any titled asset that you have can be in that exercise.
Hold on there now. Let me get this clear. You are saying that when a business becomes part of the asset and the owner dies,
Yes.
is that if he holds taxes and the business is unable to pay those taxes, the state can move in on other assets, his home or motor vehicles, and yes,
Anything.
and recover those. I mean, take those
Absolutely.
to cover the outstanding taxes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, therefore, what you are telling my viewers and listeners is that they must ensure that the whatever is being done is done in the proper way, so that the taxes or whatever outstanding amount is there, is that there is enough asset to cover those costs.
It's better, Desmond, to get proper accounting done.
Yes.
And the tax due annually is paid annually.
Yes.
So that you don't have any accumulation. Because when you run it along that line, you're endangering the survival of your dependents, your beneficiaries, if you leave
Yeah.
young family, for example.
But you can only pay taxes if you are earning if the business is earning an income.
Exactly. But let me hasten to say, with proper accounting, the system will pick up the benefits of the tax system, the different credits and allowances that one can claim as a result of operating a business. So all the things that are used for the business, the motor vehicle, the equipment, the furnishings like computers and all of these things that are used for the business, they should be subject to proper accounting. Like, for example, you buy a truck, a computer, whatever, it has a lifetime. Let's say it have a lifetime of 10 years, and you spent $10 million to buy this equipment. Then each year, the accounting people are the experts, but just for this argument, no, let us say you're doing straight line depreciation and the vehicle is for 10 years. Every year, you claim 10% of the value of that vehicle and when you're making up your tax returns. Because 10% would have been used up
Yes.
in doing the business, using it in the business. You with me?
Yes, I'm following you.
That means the 10th year, when the return is made, that asset will have a zero value.
Yes. Yes,
It would
sir.
have, right? And there are other issues. So people who employ workers and they don't pay no NIS, they don't pay no education tax, they don't pay no NHT or anything for the workers. Remember that under the law, the business is supposed to pay a part of your NHT contributions and pensions for you and all of these provisions. These are business expenses.
Yes.
So people who are not honoring these expenses and aiming to accumulate for themselves only, they will be in trouble, because an employee can report you to these statutory deducting authorities. The business have a part of the NHC to pay and the worker pay a part.
Yes.
So any statutory deductions, any compulsory deductions, so not being, you're building up a liability for the company.
Yes.
But remember, the individual and the company is one and the same.
Okay.
So you're building up a liability for your own self, for your own estate at any time it is to be distributed. So it's not safe to create these liabilities and then you make a will, leaving these useless assets to beloved beneficiaries. Because when the matter is settled, they might end up with negative balances rather than positive balance to distribute and bring a benefit.
Because they might have to sell those assets in order to pay off liabilities.
The executors are the ones whose job it is to make sure that the estate is properly settled.
Yes.
And they can go to court and get the permission to sell any asset that it becomes necessary to dispose of to clear liabilities. You know who is the first claimant on your estate, sir?
Who, the tax man?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's not your family. Your family is not the number one claimant on your estate.
Yes, sir. Yes. Well, you know, this is this is good information for my listeners and viewers, of course, so that they take the necessary precaution. Do the
No,
yes.
I'm going to list those for your listeners. But remember, funeral expense first, taxman, so your family is number 3 on the list.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
With that information, most people might want to move the family to the number 1 slot. Might want to move the family to the number 1 slot.
Uh-huh.
Means to move the family to the number 1 slot, you have to make provisions to cover all possible liabilities. So the assets go to them.
Yes.
If there's liability in excess of assets, then assets are going to be sold. And when these assets are being sold in these conditions, they'll be sold at what we call fire sale prices.
Mm-hmm.
Because I guess everybody understands what you mean by fire sale, but the bottom line, you will not get 100% of the sale value of the sale value.
Because the taxman is only interested in collecting what is owed to him.
Absolutely.
So in disposing of the asset, that is what he's looking for.
The executors have to make sure that these things are done. And I think I said it before, I need to say it again. When the estate is not settled within the first year, the outstanding taxes and so on starts attracting interest.
Uh-huh. Yes, yes.
I said that again, Desmond.
Yes.
When the estate is not settled within a year, despite the reason for it not being settled, auditors not finish what they're doing and things like that, it's not settled. The taxes are not paid. After a year, they start to attract interest.
Uh-huh.
The interest rate, at the instant, we would have to check on it because that's something that can vary overnight. One announcement and it double or triple or whatever change. So just to make it clear that these needs to be done.
Uh-huh.
So why am I talking about the business in such a detailed way? Talking about the business in such a detailed way because many times people go away with this very, very false impression that debt dies with debtor. Not in our case.
Mm-hmm. So, yes.
Where will the cash come from to do all of these things, to probate the will? We already said it's about 26% of the asset. That goes into clearing all of these estate duties.
Yes.
So look at a business that values, say, $100 million on the balance sheet. And you look at it and say, well, I have $100 million to leave for my family. Beneficiaries will get $100 million. When probation time comes, there are debts, liabilities of $98 million, $110, $200 million. How the assets going to stand up against that?
No, that would be a serious imbalance. But if the business, if the if decisions are taken to continue with the business, then those alive, the beneficiaries, they will have to find the capital that is required to offset these costs.
It's not the beneficiaries decide whether or not the business continue.
Is who?
Sir, the business can only continue if remember, the business is going to a different owner now. The deceased person
Yes.
no longer owns it, so it is going to go to somebody else.
Uh-huh.
And the person to whom it is to go have a right not to take it.
Yes.
Because they are taking a white elephant. That's not an asset they're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
So it is the executors who carry out the instructions in the will. And when that instruction is being carried out and no money is available, that's when things start getting sold.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
the sole trader has to look at his life.
And suppose the sole trader dies intestate, what happens?
The Administrator General's department step in, take charge of everything, lock up the vault, lock up the door, and park the vehicle somewhere, and so on. And appoint an executor.
Yeah.
And in the absence of a will written by the testator, then the intestate laws, the wheels of that law start to turn, and things are done exactly as it is stated in the intestate law.
Okay.
So we all have a will, sir.
Yes, yes. So,
Just
so in cases like those where the owner dies intestate,
yes,
is that the state now takes over his or her property.
through the office of the Administrator General.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I see. And
Appoint the executor, and it starts going from there.
yeah. Let us take a break. Let us hold on for me. Let us take a break. Let us take a break. We will be back shortly.
To be tested and tried in the valley, He restored my soul. Watch me now, hey. So down in the valley, so lonely and cold. My body is shaking to my bone. My Savior said He'll dry the tears from my eyes and tell me, say, all my need He will supply. All my need, yeah. He's all my need, yeah, yeah, yeah. He's all my need, yeah, yeah. He's all my need, yeah, yeah, yeah. He's all my need, yeah. He's all my need, yeah, yeah, yeah. He's all my need, yeah, yeah. He's all my need, yeah, yeah, yeah. He don't care what nobody wants say. As long as the Father sit on the throne. We nah, we can't, we want dead for home. I will not suffer. I will not.
Yes, welcome back to Rebel Radio and to the program Be Sure. We are talking to insurance salesman Lloyd Brim. So, Mr. Brim, you were enlightening us, informing us as to what should be done in order to protect your family, your beneficiaries, when you are no longer around to make critical decisions.
Absolutely.
Yes, but now the first of all, the information of the debt would have to be passed on to the Administrator General. There's a process. Obviously, there's a process that is laid out there that has to be followed.
Well, when somebody dies, remember, especially with a business now,
Yes.
who can sign checks for the business when the owner has died?
Who can do what?
Who can sign the checks?
Yeah.
Most time, well, as I said, we're talking about sole trader right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's one man. Usually it's one person.
No, but there are cases where, although it's a sole trader, the bank account has 2 signatures. Suppose, for example, the man, the man or the woman, whoever is the owner, decides, okay, my husband is on one of the signatures, or my wife is one of the signatures on the account.
Well, the first thing, in cases like that, it could say either or.
Yes, right.
The person can sign, one person can sign the check.
Yes.
How long you think that could continue? You're taking goods and credit, people wanting to collect in 14 days or whatever their credit extend to.
But you're honoring, suppose your credit obligations are being honored.
If they're being honored,
yes.
Remember, when somebody dies, there's a whole host of people who get affected. And there are people who are being supported in our Jamaican society. Many times, that information is kept undercover.
Mm-hmm.
Other things are being done that is kept undercover.
Yes.
And the salesmen who take these orders and so on, they can see that the person is not here to, and they know.
Mm-hmm.
So credit cut off.
No, the credit don't have to be discontinued like that, because, for example, if the who is running the business now, that person takes.
No, nobody can run the business after the person died like that. Why?
So the business is going to be closed down?
It has to be set out in the will what is to be done with it, and the executors decide what to do.
No, here's a case where the person died without making a will.
Right.
So the everything is taken care of. Funeral is taken care of. The business had no liability, meaning that all the information was filed annually. It pays its taxes annually. Everything is up to date.
Yes.
But one member, whether it is the wife or the husband, is no longer there, right?
Yes.
But whoever is alive continue to honor the business obligations. So, for example, if they had credit at X place, they continue to service their debt. They continue to buy.
No. The agreement between the suppliers and the business is dependent on the single man there who is the owner, sole trader.
Yeah, but the survivor now move in and talk and open discussion with the supplier.
No.
Then suppose the supplier agree to suppose the supplier agree to continue providing the goods.
He does so at his own peril.
Okay.
He does at his own peril. And one other thing we must always remember. A person dies, it is no secret that the person is dead.
No.
A person is in business and he dies. All the creditors come knocking and all the debtors go fleeing.
Flee.
In thin air.
Why the debtors would go flee? Why the debtors would flee?
They want the debt to die with the debtor.
Yeah, but that, as you pointed out earlier, that don't happen every time.
The executors are the people who make the decisions.
Yes.
They collect all that is owed and they pay all that is owed.
Yes.
But they wouldn't pay it with their own touch. So what provision does a person like this need to put in place?
Okay.
First and foremost is a proper will.
Yes.
Secondly, keep proper records and pay your taxes.
Yes.
Don't create any liability with the government. How can you do that? Make your returns every year and pay your tax.
Yes.
More importantly, whoever is doing the accounting must be qualified and current and to take maximum advantage of the provisions of the tax law that says you can claim for fuel, you can claim for insurance and the buildings and so on. Look how it look now, Desmond. It's not in alignment that the person who is in charge of all of this and make it tick does not have proper insurance, but every vehicle is properly insured. The building is properly insured. The inventory is properly insured and secured. And the engine, the driver of all of these activities is 100% exposed.
Yes.
Because as insurance people were not welcomed in some places.
But
Carrying this type of information and people scared to talk to you. You know, people make appointments and don't turn up and all this kind of activity that is only creating a burden on the road.
Yes.
So get good advice and take maximum advantage of the tax benefits and pay the tax.
Yes.
That's due.
Yes. Yes.
Get adequate insurance, get proper advice, and get adequate insurance. So,
because what that does, adequate insurance means that there will be enough funds to take care of liabilities.
yes, and the business can go to the beneficiary in good financial standing, and credits and so on can be negotiated based on the strength of the business and so on. So if I were talking to Mr. Brown, a businessman now, telling him all of what I have said since we started, then I would be of no help to him unless I present a solution. So then no, I would have to create a program. One of the key things in the program is that this is the man that makes everything tick. He is what we call a key man. A key man. The key man makes things work And just like it's a key, yes, key man. He opens everything, closes everything, in charge of everything. And in his absence, there is something we call goodwill that can be lost. So the tax laws allow you to insure this person for amounts in keeping with their business activities and liabilities and assets and so on. So he would need for me to design two sets of policies for him. One set for the family and the dependents who live from his earning, and another set of policies. And that policies now will those policies will take care of the business aspect of the expenses and so on.
Okay. Right. So, in other words, what you are saying is that if you are talking to a businessman, is that you would have to be saying to him that this is what you are supposed to do. In other words, you have to buy these policies in order to protect yourself.
Protect your family, protect the sacrifices that you make will not go in vain.
Yes.
That's the message.
Yes. And so what kind of you should be telling us, or just tell us about the kinds of policies that are available to address issues that like these.
You have a whole suite of insurance policies, Desmond.
Yes.
And some of them, what we call coupon policies, some of them what we call term policies, some of them what we call investment policies, and it would depend on the person's situation. But you can use policies to accumulate reserves for the company. You can use investment policies that accumulate reserves. The main thing with insurance policies is strength is the life insured amount, the death benefit as we call it. Those are what provide the cash in the short term or the long term. Once the contract is signed, person has to do medicals, they are all done. It's just like that 100 million or 200 million or 500 million is sitting in waiting to be delivered to clear up the business expenses if this person dies or had died last night. So it has to do with the discussion that takes place between the business person and the agent or the advisor.
No, let me present another situation to you. What happened when here's a case where this is a sole trader, but the business is operated by two persons. It can be a wife and husband, or father and son, father and daughter. They are the established owners, operators of the company.
It's no longer a sole trader.
Or that time it becomes a limited liability.
No, it depends on what they want.
Yeah.
But we're just looking today at what happens with a sole trader.
Yes.
When we look again, we can look at, say, a partnership.
Yes.
And then when we look at, again, we can look at a family-owned business. And so on. So we have a lot of work to do there.
Yes. Of course. That is certainly. You provide, you really give you some eye openers as to, you know, our sole traders. So what are some of the provisions that sole trading operations need to put in place in order, as you put it a while ago, that their sacrifices are protected, right? Yes. What are some other elements? I'm sure there are some other elements that you want to tell our viewers and listeners about as it relates to.
The thing to do, as we know, businesses have a life of their own. And that's where the technicality comes in, and that is where the provision comes in, and that is where the allowances and tax credits and all of these things have to be understood, not necessarily by me, the person operating the business, but like every other occupation, there are advisors.
Yes.
It is important that this type of information is shared with the person who is the key person, with the person who has the pen, with the person who the bank manager knows, with the person who have his account executive at the bank, the person who the creditors know. These are some of the things wrapped up in there, because after a number of years, this business has built a reputation, built goodwill, and the integrity of the operator and the owner, right? And many transactions go on, can we say, in the form of a golden handshake. You know? If you are there working and doing the business, and let's say you have some goods to be cleared off the wharf, approaching a long weekend, and if it is not done, you're going to incur some extra charges. But the bank balance not looking so good. But you have a reputation at significant deposits over certain periods of time, which is fast approaching. So your bank account won't be low for the rest of the week or for the holidays or so. You can call the bank manager or your person at the bank and say, listen, I have to write a check for $15 million to clear 5 or 10 containers at the wharf to avoid the charges. So clear this check for me, Johnny. Say, oh, come on, you make it look, that's not a problem, man. Bam, bam, bam. But it is all based on the understanding between the business operator and his, let's just say, officers at the bank. If he had died 6 weeks ago, the new person who take over, whoever operating the business, the bank manager wouldn't agree to that type of overdraft.
No, because they don't have that kind of relationship.
Right, so the problems would come in. So that is why when I mentioned Keyman Insurance, it still needs a little more time on it. But the bottom line is, when you have that kind of insurance, the creditors have a peace of mind that in the event you die, especially what we call unexpectedly or suddenly, accident, robbery, unexpected thing. You know, get old and retire, or get sick and so on, die. You die suddenly. They want the debt settled like immediately, or get some assurance that,
Yes.
So this type of insurance usually it's made known to your creditors, and sometimes they get a lien on the policy. So they don't have to wait on anybody to pay them.
Yeah.
They already have this insurance policy for 50 million, 30 million, 100 million, depending on what the level of transaction
Yes.
is. You have intricacies in the some unofficial. But the show must go on.
Yeah.
So to be sure,
Yeah.
all these people need to get themselves a competent insurance advisor as part of their team.
Right. Well, Lady, we are going to conclude today's program until next week.
Always a pleasure, sir.
Yes, we will resume our discussion on how to protect yourself and preserve your beneficiaries, yourself and your beneficiaries. This is Be Sure on Rebel Radio.
What a man full of blessings. Everybody make we crown him. From the east, west, north, and south, all about. Everybody jump and shout and say, me Lord, send me blessed. Me send me Lord, send me blessed. As long as Jesus, I feel me provide, and me know, send me blessed.
Me bless, me bless, me bless, bless, bless.
Send me no, send me blessed.
Me bless, me bless, me bless, bless, bless.
Me send me no, send me blessed.
Me bless, me bless, me bless, bless, bless.
As long as Jesus, I feel me provide, and me know, send me blessed.
Me bless, me bless, me bless, bless,
Me
bless.
send me no, send me blessed.
Me bless, me bless, me bless, bless, bless.
Send me no, send me blessed.
Me bless, me bless, me bless, bless, bless.
As long as Jesus, I feel me provide, and me know, send me blessed. Are you blessed?
Yes,
Are you blessed?
oh yes,
Jump around if you know, say you're blessed.
Yes.
Wave your hand if you know, say you're blessed.
Yes.
Kick up your foot if you know, say you're blessed.
Yes.
In the morning, you know, say you're blessed.
Me blessed.
In the evening, you know, say you're blessed.
Me blessed.
And you're blessed, and the devil can't test.
Me blessed.
Say you're blessed, and you know you don't stress. Lift up your hand if you know, say you're blessed. Raise the hand if you know, say you're blessed. Raise your hand if you know, say you're blessed. Pick up your foot if you know, say you're blessed. Bless, bless, bless. Yeah, bless. Lord, me just, I want you to know that the power of the church is still alive. We come to chase demons in the name of Jesus. My God. I know one prayer we pray. We pray in a night and we pray in a day. And every time we go on my knees, devil have to run away. Say I know one prayer we pray. We pray in a night and we pray in a day. And every time we go on my knees, demons have to run away. Lord Jesus, when the devil a come,
when the devil a come,
say me nah go run,
say me now go run.
cause I'm covered by the blood
The blood of Jesus,
of the Almighty. And when the Eden appear,
when the heathen appear,
say we have no fear.
say we have no fear.
Cause we daddy is here. Him have a standard you can't hear.
He's my daddy.
Oh Lord Jesus, say I know one prayer me pray. We pray in the night and Lord Jesus. Say I know one prayer we pray. We pray in a night and we pray in a day. And every time we come on my knees, demons have your own way. Lord Jesus, when the devil attack, God a cover me back, him a me shield and rock. Lord Jesus, and that's a fact, Lord. And when the devil attack, we a go answer back. Him a go get one shot. John 3:16, take care of that. Oh Lord Jesus, let me tell him. Say I know one prayer we pray. We pray in a night and we pray in a day. And every time we go on my knees, devil have to run away. Lord Jesus, say I know one prayer we pray. We pray in a night and we pray in a day. And every time we run on my knees, demons have to run away. You see demons, you know. Say I know one prayer we pray. We pray in a night and we pray in a day. And every time we go on my knees, devil have to run away. Lord Jesus, come on. Run them up. From your workplace, run them up. From your school, run them up. From your business place, run them up. Run them up. Chase them up. Chase them up. Run deep. Run deep. Blood of Jesus against you. Run them out of your school. Run them out of your house. Run them out of your car. Run them up. Run them up. Run them up. Run them out of your school. No matter with the rampage shop. Me tell them out. Run them up. Chase them up. Run them. Demon. The blood of Jesus against you. Demons have to run away. Demon have to run away. Devil have to run away. Lord Jesus.
Roll.
Me say roll, Jordan, roll. Roll, Jordan, roll. I want to go to heaven when I die. For real, roll, Jordan, roll. Brother, me say roll, Jordan, roll. Sister, me say roll, Jordan, roll. I want to go to heaven when I die. For real, roll, Jordan, roll. Moment behold, chariot along, moment behold, chariot along, moment behold, chariot along, and never look behind. And if malice not the way, roll it over it, and if malice is not the way, roll it over it, and if malice is not the way, roll it over it, and never look behind. If jealousy is not the way, roll it over it. If jealousy is not the way, roll it over it. If jealousy is not the way, roll it over it, and never look behind. Hey, and if bad mind is not the way, roll it over it. And if bad mind is not the way, roll it over it. And if bad mind is not the way, roll it over it, and never look behind. Brother, me say roll, Jordan, roll. Roll, Jordan, roll. I want to go to heaven when I die. For real, roll, Jordan.
Shensia with a message to you from myself and the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Shenyang, everyone see we are a mask, let the numbers drop. I don't want COVID, lay you down flat. Nose and mouth, you fi cover up that. Oh, 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 oh. Sanitize, get hospitalized. Fight the virus, then fight for your life, yeah. Nobody talk about say you no response no more. Don't be reckless, cause you test us so you not have it. You can still get the virus from somebody. Don't be reckless, cause you test us so you not have it. You can still get the virus. So keep the numbers down. Protect yourself and the people around. COVID in town, 6 feet apart and 6 feet in the ground. Yeah. Keep the numbers down. Protect yourself and the people around. COVID in town, 6 feet apart and 6 feet in the ground. Stay alive, stay alive, stay alive, stay alive, stay alive.
Satan, you think it a go so no? You see all them things the way you take it from we. We are taking them back in the name of Jesus. And we are taking back by force. Yeah, man. By force, we are taking by force. By force, we are going to take it by force. Yeah, we come here, we take it and we. Now well, if we say we come here, we take it by force. Everybody by force, we are taking by force. Hey, by force, we are taking by force. Yeah, we come here, we take it and we. Now well, if we say we come here, we take it by force. Let me know. Never take back the city, take back the town, take back the school, take back the land, take back the sea, take back the sun, take back the culture from the drugs man, take back the youth them from that man, take back the money from the work the man, we go take back the wife, take back the husband, and take back everything and go with Satan, run him away. Come on, by force we are gonna take it by force. By force we are taking by force. Hey, we come here, we take it and we. Now go well if we say we come here, we take it by force. Everybody by force, we are taking by force. By force, we are going to take it by force. Hey, we come here, we take it and we. Now go well if we say we come here, we take it by force. Hey. We're gonna take back the city, take back the town, take back the school, take back the land, take back the sea, take back the sun, take back the country from the drugs man, take back the youth and family that man, take back the money from the warrior man, we're gonna take back the wife, take back the husband, take back everything and run with Satan, run him away! Yeah man! By force, we are gonna take it by force. By force, we are gonna take it by force. Yeah, we come here, we take it and we. Now well if we say we come here, we take it by force. Everybody by force, we are gonna take it by force. By force, we are gonna take it by force. Yeah, we come here, we take it and we. Now well if we say we come here, we take it by force. Hey people, we are gonna take back everything where Satan take us from we. And we are come together in the name of Jesus and take it back by force. Unu ready? Yeah. Unu ready? Yeah. Then come now. Hey, me child, give me back. The house, let go that. Me land, let me back. Give me back. Give me back. Me wife, give me back. Me youth, give me that. Me money, give me back. Give me back. Give me that. You better move for your small one. Me joy, give me back. The peace, let go that. Me love, give me that. Give me that. Give me back. Me church, give me that. Me praise, give me back. Me prayer, give me that. Give me back. Give me back. Loser. Me come here, feet take it and we. Now go well if we say we come here, feet take it by force. Hey, let go that. Let go that. Give me back. Give me back. Let go that. Give me that. Let go that. Give me back. Give me back. Let go that. Let go that. Give me back. Let go that. Give me back. Let go that. Let go that. Give me back. Give me back. Let go that. Give me back. Let go that. Let go that. Let go that. Give me back. Give me back. Let go that. Give me back. Let go that. Let go that. Let go that. Give me back. Give me back. Let go that. Give me back. Let go that. Let go that. Come here, feet take it and we. Now go well if we say we come here, feet take it by force. Hey, let go that. Let go that.
The station with the artist station with the artist music.
strength, the strength of my life. Tell me whom shall I fear? Hear me now, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Tell me whom shall I fear? The Lord is my strength, the strength of my life. Tell me whom shall I fear? Come on, Christians, step on the enemy, step on the enemy. Crush the serpent, trample the dragon. Under my feet, him under my feet. Under my feet, me say him under my feet. Step on the enemy, step on the enemy. Crush the serpent, trample the dragon. Under my feet, him under my feet. Under my feet, say him under my feet. Yeah. Come on, Christian. Trample the devil. Crush the devil. Come on. Listen. Plead my cause, oh Lord, with those who strive with me. Fight against those who fight against me. Hallelujah. Take up your sword, Lord. Take up your spear. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. One more time, listen. Plead my cause, oh Lord, with those who strive with me. Fight against those who fight against me. Hey, hey. Take up your sword, Lord. Take up your shield. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Christian, come now. Step on the enemy, step on the enemy. Crush the serpent, trample the dragon. Under my feet, under my feet. Under my feet, say him under my feet. Step on the enemy, step on the enemy. Crush the serpent, trample the dragon. Under my feet, under my feet. Under my feet, say him under my feet. Hey, come on. Step on the serpent. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Tell me whom shall I fear? Hey, hey, the Lord is my strength, the strength of my life. Tell me whom shall I fear? Master Jesus, no, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Tell me whom shall I fear? Come on now, the Lord is my strength, the strength of my life. Tell me whom shall I fear? Come with me now, Jesus. Step on the enemy, step on the enemy. Crush the serpent, trample the dragon. Under my feet, him under my feet. Under my feet, say him under my feet. Step on the enemy, step on the enemy. Crush the serpent, trample the dragon. Under my feet, him under my feet. Under my feet, say him under my feet. Step on the enemy, step on the enemy. Crush the serpent, trample the dragon. Under my feet, him under my feet. Under my feet, say him under my feet. Listen, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty God. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver me from the snares of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. I shall not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at my side, and 10,000 at my right hand, but it shall not come near me. Only with my eyes shall I behold and see the reward of the wicked, because I have made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, my habitation. There shall no evil befall.
Island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. Keep we island clean. so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty of Jamaica, please don't do it.
No dash, no paper, no dash, no plastic. Dispose your garbage responsibly. No know how to recycle, learn it quick. And if you drop it, better pick up every piece of it. Plastics last forever, don't forget the bits. Cause when them touch the street, them end up in the sea. Collect pan the reef where they fish them feed. And when you want seafood, I eat your eat.
Keep island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty of Jamaica, please don't do it. No dirty of Jamaica, no dirty of Jamaica, no dirty of Jamaica, no dirty of Jamaica.
Hey, me say the best place, I when God a bless, the best place. Hey, I am happy every day as I travel through this land. I've been mighty blessed of God and I'm holding to His hand. The journey's almost over, the battle is nearly won, and I have a feeling in my heart the best is yet to come. Now I'm standing here on Jordan Bank and I'm facing the rolling tides. The storm of life are raging, but I'm happy down inside. I can see the lifeboat coming to take me safely home, and I have a feeling in my heart the best is yet to come. God, I said the best is yet to come when I walk through every day. For the first time I see Jesus, I can hardly wait. He showed me to my mansion, said this is your home, and I have a feeling in my heart the best is yet to come. My sister said the best is yet to come when I walk through every day. For the first time I see Jesus, I can hardly wait. He showed me to my mansion, say this is your home, and I have a feeling in my heart the best is yet to come. He said the best bliss, I when God a bless, the best bliss, I when God a bless. Well, I'm standing here on Jordan Bank and I'm facing the rolling tides. The storms of life are raging, but now I'm happy down inside. I can see the lifeboat coming to take me safely home, and I have a feeling in my heart the best is yet to come. My sister said the best is yet to come when I walk through every day. For the first time I see Jesus, I can hardly wait. He showed me to my mansion, say this is your home, and I have a feeling in my heart the best is yet to come. My sister said the best is yet to come when I walk through every day. For the first time I see Jesus, I can hardly wait. He showed me to my mansion, say this is your home, and I have a feeling in my heart the best is yet to come. My brother said I have a feeling in my heart the best is yet to come. My sister said me have a feeling in my heart the best is yet to come. My brother said me have a
Mommy, what y'all worry about?
Why worry more when you can pray?
Daddy, move your hand from your jaw, man. Move your hand.
So take no thought for tomorrow.
Listen to them words now.
Things already better.
Things already better.
Things already better.
Already better.
For the Lord is on my side.
Things already better. Things already better. Things already better.
Things already better.
Things already better.
Things already better.
Already better.
You see the Lord is on our side.
Things already better. Things already better. Things already better.
What we say? Hey, no matter how the valley look dark, no matter how the water full of shark, even though we break two look far, we just not go work cause we ain't gotta walk. No matter how the hill look steep, no matter how the river look deep, me break two look like it asleep, me just not go work cause me soul gotta keep. Guess what? Skin me teeth already, me don't get it yet but me see it already. Blessing in a fleet already, God tell me say me are the wheat already. Table prepare with me seat already, wake up to me blessing me sleep already. Cup overflow times me get already, food not share yet but it's sweet already.
Things already better. Things already better. You see the Lord is on our Ya está bien. El Señor está conmigo. Ya está bien. Ya está bien. Ya está bien.
Tell you why. Every day you get up and I worry about. Full of anxiety and I hurry about. Little faith you have no many devil sorry out. Over trivial things like hurry goat. Listen me man, stop sing them sorry notes. Gotta have a plan for your life, for your carry out. Little dark tunnel, just one hurry out. At the end you go push a big try out.
Things already better. Things already better. You see the Lord is on our side. Things already better. Things already better. Things already better. Oti dara for me. Oti dara for me. Toro no wa pelumi. Oti dara for me. Oti dara for me. Oti dara for me. He shall supply all your needs.
Him a go take care of you.
Never leave and not forsake you.
Him always near of you. Better believe.
Trust him with all of thine heart.
Let the devil steer clear of you. Move the
So you're more than a conqueror.
So go conquer the fear of you.
Things already better. Things already better. You see the Lord, He is on our side. Things already better. Things already better. Things already better. Nicholas, just sing that piece here.
Things already better. Things already better.
You see the Lord is on our side. Things already better. Things already better. Things already better. Things already better. Come on, hear me. Things already better. You see Jehovah is on our side. Things already better. 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 Jesus, He is there on our side. Things already better. Things already better. Things already better.
One, two, three, two more. 1, 2. Adults to 30 minutes activity daily. Love your body, treat your body right. Vegetables, make sure you eat plenty. Children do 60 minutes activity daily. Drink some water when you feel thirsty. Cut down dessert and have a smoothie. Jamaicans, love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body right. Just eat right. Love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body right. One more time now. Love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body right. Just eat right. Love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body right. Listen up. Make sure you know your health status. Go a doctor and get a regular checkup. Chronic disease can slowly creep up. We can lower the risk and live up if we just eat right and get moving. Jumping, running, dancing or skipping. Change the children, them lazy habit. Make them play out the door and put down the tablet. Jamaicans, love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body right. Just eat right. Love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body right. Jamaica, get moving. Love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body right. Just eat right. Love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body right. After 2, make me hear you say I love me. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. After 2, make me hear you say I love me. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Jamaicans, love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body right. Just eat right. Love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body right. One more time now. Love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body right. Just eat right. Love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body right. Jamaica, get moving. Love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body right.
Jamaica.
Best decision ever.
Feel the sand between your toes and the gentle waves of the sea on your skin. Feel the warm Jamaican breeze lift your spirits and nourish your soul. Escape to exactly what makes your heart beat. You will love every moment. Jamaica, heartbeat of the world. Let's go.
Touch me, Lord, touch me, Lord. Touch me again, Lord. Touch me, Lord, touch me, Lord. Touch me again. Touch me, Lord, touch me, Lord. Touch me again, Lord. Touch me, Lord, touch me, Lord. Touch me again. The world around is crumbling. There's violence on every street. Brothers are killing brothers. Corruption in the high places. And if you are wondering what to do, the answer still echoes in this song. Touch me, Lord, touch me, Lord. Touch me again, Lord. Touch me, Lord, touch me, Lord. Touch me again. Touch me, Lord, touch me, Lord. Touch me again, Lord. Touch me, Lord, touch me, Lord. Touch me again. Children are having children. Famine is on the land. Destruction in all places. Father, we need your hand. And if you're wondering what to do, the answer still echoes in this song. Touch me, Lord, touch me, Lord. Touch me again, Lord. Touch me, Lord, touch me, Lord. Touch me again. Touch me, Lord, touch me, Lord. Touch me again, Lord. Touch me, Lord, touch me, Lord. Touch me again. Touch me, Lord.
Yes. Welcome back to Rebel Radio. At this time, we have work. It's time for Workers' Time. And we are going to be discussing with the president of the Nurses Association, Mrs. Henry. And we have with us in studio trade unionist James Francis. Mrs. Henry, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening. And you have, I'm sure you know Mr. James Francis.
I'm not sure, but I'd be pleased to meet him.
Okay. Well, lady and gentlemen, welcome to Rebel Radio. And as you know, this time on a Monday is your time, the workers' time. Madam President, I want to start with you. Now, can you tell my viewers and listeners what is the state of play now? Some of the unions signed off last year. Are the workers happy?
Happy is a big word.
Yes.
And I don't like to generalize. So I am going to say that we are at a point where we are comfortable now. There are still a few challenges that we face, and if you and some of the listeners were following, you would realize that while our lower level and higher level nursing staff would have somewhat benefited from this compensation review, those in the middle were having challenges. So we still have a bit of challenge with those middle persons. We actually signed November 17. We started receiving the new compensation in December. Not everybody is in receipt of their full compensation, but by March, we should be able to do a full analysis and see if, yes, we are truly happy or we are not as happy as we thought we should be. With that said, I am going to say that some persons are happy. They did have a good Christmas, and the conversation with the Ministry of Finance and Planning continues as it relates to other issues.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What are some of the issues with those nurses who are in the middle? What are some of their issues?
We have to understand that a number of the allowances which were rolled into salary, the persons in the middle of the band, so we have 8 bands. We have from level 1 to level 8. And the persons who fall between level 3, level 4, level 5, thereabout, those are the persons who have been in receipt of the allowances. Yes? So when it is rolled into your salary now, that now affects your net. So while the lower level staff who were not in receipt of the allowances would benefit, those persons who were already in receipt of the allowance and having it now rolled into salary, while there would have been an increase in the gross, a significant increase in the gross, the net pay, because a number of these allowances were tax-free, the net pay would now be impacted. So persons, when you look on net over net, there is not much difference for some persons within that middle band.
Okay. And I'm sure that you and your members, you have that now in front of you to work. In other words, it has been you are in negotiation with the ministry in order to work out that.
We continue, yes, because remember that this compensation review is at the end of the 3 years. We're hoping that we can iron out all the creases and the glitches and the seams that not supposed to be there, and we can get a smooth transition at the ending of the 3 years of the implementation.
Right. Just right. Mr. Francis, what are your workers happy?
Not really.
Yeah.
How do you do to you, nurse? How do you do, nurse?
Hello, good evening.
Yes, I've listened to you many times, and I've seen where you're doing a fairly good job.
Thank you very much.
Well, I'm one of the trade unions who are hard to please in many ways, because I do not think that the 3-year agreement should have been brought about, because what's the reason for the 3 years agreement? It is giving the government overtime, and the workers cannot guarantee what will happen within the 3-year span, Like the last agreement, which there was some 16% over 4 years, I warned them, and I told them, Ellen Davis, everybody, went on TV about it, that you cannot enter into an agreement like that at the time, because you don't know what will happen. You will have hurricane, you'll have storm, you'll have all sorts of things. And then we have the pandemic come down and a number of things. And my word was fulfilled there. But so I don't think I love any three-year agreement with anybody, because the workers have been on the wage guideline for many years, as you might recall. Right, nurse? Hello?
Yes, that is true. I hear.
I'm saying that the workers have been on the wage guideline for many years.
Many, many years.
So this 3-year thing that was proposed But you know, the negotiation was fun because you have different people with different opinion. You have the civil service, you have the Confederation of Trade Union, and there are other unions in between who have different grouses. So for me, the people might have a feel-good feeling, a feel-good. You have a thing called feel-good, and you have another one that you call, so it's two types of feeling, feel-good and good feeling, right? But I'm not very happy about the agreement because, let me show you something, nurse. There's an agreement with the Confederation of Trade Unions over the years where after 2 years of service, a worker should be appointed with a letter of appointment. And if you notice that this agreement don't mention anything about those things. I represent workers in the police department, civilian, who have been, of course, 15, 16, 17 years without a letter of appointment. Part-time people working 20 years, 15 years. The postal agents out there in the country who work in the smaller post office, they are not included in this agreement. And for the last 15 years, we have been knocking at them, the government, through the Postmaster General, to see what can be done to improve their, regularize the postal agent, because they are doing the same work as postal clerk, divide mails, assort mails, parcels, register letter.
Yes.
And
yeah. James, just hold it a moment there. Just hold your thoughts there, Mrs. Henry. We're going to take a short break. Don't go away, please.
Okay.
Yes.
For me, you have done enough. Oh, Mema, oh, Mema, oh, Mema, oh, Mema, oh, Mema, oh, Mema. You have done enough. Oh, Mema, oh, Mema, oh, Mema, oh, Mema, oh, Mema, oh, Mema. You have done enough. Oh, Mary, Mama, oh, Mary, Mama. This your mercy, this your grace. This your love, this your goodness. Your finished work on Calvary. How you love me so. Daddy, if you do nothing else for me, you have done enough. Oh. If you do nothing else for me. Oh, make mine, 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 oh, make mine. You say? You have done enough. Hey, oh, make mine, oh, make mine. Oh, make mine, oh, make mine, oh, make mine, oh, make mine. You have done enough. Oh, make mine, 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 oh, make mine. You have done enough. You have done enough. Oh, make mine, 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 oh, make mine. You have done enough.
Yes, we are back on Rebel Radio, and this is Workers' Time. We have the president of the Nurses Association, Mrs. Henry. We have trade unionist James Francis, and we have the president of UCASE with us now, Mr. Vincent Morrison. Vincent, are you there?
I am here, loud and clear.
Okay, and you're okay. We have as your colleague James and Mrs. Henry online. And
let me say hi to my colleagues. How are you doing?
Not bad. How are you doing, Vincent?
Vincent, how you doing?
Right. And I was just trying to find out from the both unionists if their members are happy with what they have signed off so far. We're just trying to get an understanding of what is, how are the workers feeling. Now, from where I know you did not sign off on this, but where are you now, as it relates to your members? And what are you picking up from the workplace since?
Well, let me just do a separation here. We represent a number of employees who are involved in the Central Civil Service, the core civil service. We also represent another group that are involved in the state agencies, like Petrojam Housing Trust, FSC, UDC, etc., etc. We have had 2 meetings with the ministry regarding the dental surgeons. I would believe that this last meeting we had about a week ago, we got some proposal, and we are doing the mathematical calculations to see how they pan out with what the workers are now getting, with the doctors are now getting, and to see what sort of increase that there is. Because, the minister has said that nobody should be getting less.
Yes. Yes.
In spite of the fact that there's some fringes may be rolled in, etc. So we are also negotiating for the probation aftercare employees. We have some other groups in the correctional service. And, of course, we have some people in the hospital across the island.
Yes.
So I would say, based on the offer made to us, I won't be able to say exactly where we are now, because that's what we're doing the calculations.
Okay.
But we are very firm in our position that things like the concession, the on-call allowances, when you ask a man to stay at his house, don't move. You have whatever. You can't leave. You have to be there because you could be called at any time.
Yes.
We don't feel that benefit should be moved on. We notice that the medical doctors have taken that to the courts. So I still believe that there are a number of issues left for us to sort out. I don't think the government should be troubling the travel allowance.
Yes.
The travel allowance is there to ensure that we have productivity. That people can't say they can't come to work.
Yes. Right.
And I don't think it should, because if it is now non-taxable. And if it's rolling to basic, it's going to be taxed, right? And that is a question that we've been looking at. We've been speaking to the Ministry of Finance, because when you have benefits that are non-taxable and you roll it in, and it is become taxable, there must be a proper adjustment to maintain those levels. The cost of living is also very important, over and about 12 to 13% as we speak. But I don't want to sound pessimistic. I'm an optimistic person. I like to see the proposals from management, from the government, and discuss it with my members so we can move forward. Because, the public sector workers, all levels, all groups, have sacrificed tremendous in this country. And it's not just yesterday, I joined the movement in the late 60s. IMF this, IMF that. And, it's time the public sector worker be given a chance so they can, take care of themselves and their families.
Yes.
And of course, You know, when you tie up wages, when you squeeze wages, it don't help the economy. It is wages that runs any economy at all. Whether you're in Russia or you're in the United States, is wages.
Yes, of course.
If you don't have decent level of wages, the professionals are going to leave, for one. Goods and services have to be purchased. And you have to have money. And if you really want to eliminate poverty, then the profits, you know, especially in the private sector, must be shared.
Before you come in, James, I just want to hear Mrs. Henry on this question of migration. I mean, because the nursing profession is short, and nurses have migrated, they have, you know, because of one of the reasons why they have left is the salary issue. Now, how is that being dealt with now, Mrs. Henry?
Well, the compensation review came as a part of the government's whole plan of retention. How that is panning out, I cannot say yet, because nurses over the years have been mobile. And one of the main reasons that we know that why nurses move is because of the quality of life and the ability to own their own homes, own their vehicles, send their children to universities, and their own upward mobility. So while the compensation package has come and it may have moved somewhat, there are still other competing factors that will still determine whether or not nurses will stay or go. And I don't think that the compensation package has moved significantly enough to retain nurses in a way that we would want.
Yes.
So while the compensation package is one part, the magnitude of the package and the other factors will have to be taken into account for us to have that fulsome discussion on nurses migration. But we do have a problem with nurses migrating. Nursing globally is short. World Health Organization states that by 2030, we're going to have a global need of 9 million nurses and midwives.
Wow.
So we are short.
Yes.
And it's not really that we here in Jamaica, we can't train. We can train some more, but we don't have the facilities and the infrastructure to support the levels of training that we would want.
Wow. Mr. Francis, you want to talk about the postal agents?
Oh, the postal agency. Nurse, I want to support the question of training. The facility can be created because if you look at Mother's Party, they are never short of workers because they have always trained workers in reserve. And if there's a short anywhere tomorrow morning, they go into the pool and they can pick up workers. The government can do the same thing. They are like short-sighted. And that training, as you say, I've always emphasized, is going to be the key. And they have to do it and stop talking about it. But to comment on what you said there before, too, I think that I share some of the views with you, but as I am saying that we have a group of people called the postal agents, and Vincent knows much about it, and they do similar work as postal clerk, and the ILO convention makes it clear into a little book that most of us have, that where a body of work or do similar work, the remuneration should be similar. And we have put up the postal agent thing through the Confederation of Trade Union, and I have been knocking at it since '94. And the last adjustment they get in their retainer fee, as they call it, was 15 years ago, and nobody will help with it. And the government come out which didn't do his homework well, because they should have found out what happened to all those group of people, because they are paid by the Postmaster General. So, you know, we have another group.
So tell me something. Those workers' interests were not negotiated under the recent package.
No, they were not negotiated, and I blame the Confederation of Trade Unions strongly for it. I've complained to Vincent about it, asking him for some help. Let us look at it. We might have to take it to the tribunal. I don't know, but they called me just up yesterday. You have a woman out in a post allegiance in Senton, now work $8,000 a month.
$8,000 per month?
The name, I can make you get it when I already have all information. And she has asked me to tell them about it. And this is not anything new. The post-alienation struggle has been a long one. But the Confederation of Trade Unions should simply say to the government, look, if you can't reorganize them or whatever, we're not going to sign the agreement. Let them have something. 15 years have elapsed. Since some short time, they get a little adjustment. Some short, and I went to the Ministry of Finance and we look at it and they adjust them. Anytime you have the security guard settlement on the domestic workers thing, the postal agency always.
Who paid these workers?
Postmaster General, government.
So they work with the government?
Yes.
And they are getting less than minimum wage?
Most of them.
Vincent, is that believable?
He knows about it.
Well, James has been raising this issue for the longest while, and it has a lot of merit. You can't be paying people below the national minimum wage. We have my General Secretary, John Levy, had asked him to take it up as a special project to ensure that justice is done. And I know John had written some letters on behalf of from James. I know James and John has been knocking head on it, but what I will promise James this afternoon is that whenever time we go back to the Ministry of Finance, I'm going to raise the issue pointedly. In fact, I'm going to do a letter to Mr. to the Ministry, Mr. Wayne Jones.
Yes.
About that. I noticed that it was part of the 2018-2019 contractual arrangement. But what seems to have happened is raised, and I don't know if the Confederation, of which James is a member, Parties Union is a member. He's doing enough to assist. But what I will say on national radio is that you will get my full attention and assistance, my brother, on this issue. But, Mr., if you permit me, I just want to talk to the issue raised by our good nurse there, about training. Now, we have Heart Trust, which is collecting nearly, each payroll, they collect quite a bit of money across Jamaica. And we have a lot of young, bright girls right across Jamaica. I think it's a question that will lack the will to do what is good for the country. We shouldn't be talking about shortage of nurses. In the United States, the young people, they're not going into nursing, because, being a developed society, young people don't want to go into anything that you could look on as antisocial or what have you. And therefore, the big countries, Japan and all of them, have been poking away all people. But I don't have a problem, because I think Jamaica don't have the expansive labor market to employ all our people. And we should be training and exporting workers. India has been doing it. We have started, the farm work program, 1943. It was an experiment, you know.
Okay.
England, United States, they were at war. And they couldn't find enough workers on the farm and the factories.
Yes.
And this is how the program started. And that program is a very excellent program, you know. So there's no question that what we should be concentrating on is to train people. I mean, I recall we had a meeting at a hotel in Montego Bay some years ago, and the hotel management started complaining that we're there to steal away their workers. I mean, it is so elementary that, you know, we won't be able to find jobs for everybody in Jamaica. When you look at the numbers coming out of the schools, we won't be able. And we have a hard program which has money. What is stopping us from training people and sending people abroad across the world to work and to send back remittances? Remittances is probably the biggest earner of foreign exchange in Jamaica now.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes. So
I don't think they have the will, they have the foresight to say, this is an era that we're going to ensure. How many girls coming out of St. Jude's, how many come to early childhood, how many come to Alpha, and we put a program together. You know, Singapore do it, and the Philippines, you know, they're doing it. I don't know why we are afraid to tackle it full on.
So your proposal, Mr. Morris, is that we should be training nurses and
other workers, not only nurses.
Yes, but training a big training program, so that we train workers and export the labor.
The labor, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
Mrs.
I kind of finalize. Vincent, I won't be long, you see.
Yeah.
What I want to go back to the bargaining table, the Ministry of Finance, promotion and appointment for workers. Because if you give a worker 100,000 back money or 200,000, that does not guarantee permanency on the job. That does not guarantee anything. So we want to look back at the promotion appointment for them. You know, the whole civil service days, after 6 months, you're supposed to be appointed. That's what the staff order says. I mean, if you look at this negotiation, all those things are not mentioned, so I don't like it. You know, so I'm not really happy about it.
You know what, but James,
yeah,
I know for a fact that there are other agreements that settle those issues. That if a worker is working in a post for more than 6 months, that worker is supposed to be confirmed.
Then if the issue is settled, why is it not broad-based? Because if you have civilian workers in the police department doing 15 and 16 years without a letter of appointment, we have mentioned that with Bunting, Chute, Finance Ministry, and nobody has done anything about it. So what are you talking about? Where's the broad-based letter of appointment and letter? The people need to get it. So let us put it back to the board. You know, everybody is sidestepping that.
Okay, Mr. Cerny, what is your take on the proposal that we should expand, have an expansive training program where we train workers in various disciplines, including nurses, and then we could export them? What is your take on that?
Well, that has been a conversation that has been out there for decades. But while you can train somebody to work in a manufacturing and so on, just have them waiting for reserve, it's difficult to train a professional nurse and just have her waiting in reserve. So the whole aspect and the whole conversation of training for export, that came up years ago, and Jamaica has been exporting nurses for quite a while. But when I talk about training, I'm not talking about just training. And I heard one of my good late colleagues talking about getting ladies, but we have to be careful how we just say getting young ladies, because the profession is expanding. There are a lot of males entering nursing now, so we have to look at that aspect of it too. And but when we talk about training, we talk about infrastructure for training. We have to understand that clinical facilities are important for the training, and we have not expanded our clinical facilities over the years. So we still only have one pediatric hospital, we have one maternity hospital, we have one mental facility.
Yes.
And these are the spaces that we talk about when we have all these nursing students to go in. So in 1988, 1980s, late 80s, early 90s, when I was trained, we had two nursing schools, Kingston School of Nursing and the University Hospital School of Nursing. Now nursing has gone into education, and universities gone over to the Ministry of Education. We have close to 9 training schools. We have 9 training schools, and each of those training schools can put out up to 100, 150 students per year. And because most of them have 4 cohorts, because it's a 4-year program, so they take in students every year. So most of the schools have at least 100 students in each cohort, which gives you close to 400. So we can be graduating up to 700-800 nurses per year. Well,
so what is holding back that process?
The government is sleeping.
That is what I'm saying, the facilities for training, because there is a standard, and this is an international standard, for the number of nursing students, trainees that can be in any facility at any given time.
Okay.
So when you have the training programs and the nurses are to get their maternal experience, you can't have a certain amount per staff ratio per patient within the facility, because remember that these persons now are working under a legal framework. So the legality of having too many students within an area without enough guidance, because remember, we don't do papers, we do life.
Yes.
So you have to have the supervision for students once they go into the clinical areas.
Okay.
So while we would like to increase our capacity for training, we have to look at the logistics and how we work that out to get our nurses trained. We do have a number of nurses who are trained and not employed, and that is not because there is not the need for them, but then it goes to another issue when you look at the health financing budget. How much of the budget is given to health to operate, to employ, to buy equipment, for resources? So it's a whole potpourri of issues that come up.
Yeah.
Training is one, but there are a whole lot of other issues that come up. I may have to run. Remember, I did tell you that I have a 5 o'clock.
Yes, please.
So I enjoyed being here. You know, you can always get me, but I do have to run now because I have another appointment.
As a matter of fact, we are actually down to the end of the program. So thank you very much, Mrs. Henry. Thank you very much. Mr. Morrison, you are still there, right?
I'm still here.
Yes, okay.
And I appreciate the point that you raised a while ago, that you can't just do training on a willy-nilly basis.
Yes.
It has to be planned, and this is what I'm saying. That is why we have government. That is why we have the Ministry of Health, huh? And that is why we believe that better can be done. Better can be done, because I mean, we have nurses, but hospitals are short.
Yes, yes,
Eh?
yes.
Eh?
And as she said a while ago, you have trained nurses who are unemployed right now because the government can't afford to employ them.
I'm joking.
No, at a time when you have shortage of nurses in hospitals in the health, and you have trained nurses who cannot be employed. No,
the few nurses that are employed are burning out themselves.
Yes. No, this is certainly, this is joke. We can't be serious. These are some of the issues that we have to deal with. We have to address in a serious way. We can't continue along these lines. And gentlemen, before we wind up, is that the workplace was hard last year, and based on all the projections so far, it is going to be harder this year.
Yeah.
Yes, and one of the issues is that the minimum wage, the last discussion I heard on this there was a proposal that the minimum wage should go to $15,000 per week, and that is just for workers to keep abreast with the cost of living, because the cost of living is very, very high, right?
Yes.
So I don't know what the trade union movement is doing about that, but I certainly believe that there is room for the trade union to really put some pressure on this.
Well, starting DOJ, rather, did some presentation at the Minimum Wage Commission about 2-3 years ago, last one. And they were saying, based on their study, the amount of money per week that is needed to assist a household of about 4 is about $18,000 per week.
Yes.
Not 15, but 18.
Okay.
And since that time, we have seen the rapid rise in the cost of living.
Mm. Yes.
So the debate is still open. We don't want to kill the goose that laid the golden egg. But again, I want to make the point that you can't be paying security guards minimum wage. It don't make sense to me.
Yes.
To pay security guard minimum wage. The security guards, the police, the soldiers, there should be some comparability or comparative arrangement between those groups.
Yes. And Vin, what is being done to, now that the way is cleared for the security guards to be unionized? I would imagine that the trade union movement is moving ahead to do that.
Well, yes, we have our officers, our contacts out there. But let me tell you something. Security guards are the most difficult group of workers in Jamaica to unionize. One, they will tell you they fear that if they join the union, they will lose them job.
You mean even now?
Even now, yeah.
Okay.
Secondly, they are so widespread across the length and breadth of Jamaica that I maintain that no one union can take it off.
Okay.
And I hope I'm not giving away anything. That is why we are asking the government to set up a JIC. A Joint Industrial Council was in place in 2018, it was smashed.
Okay.
It was smashed. The meeting was being held at the Ministry of Labour.
Yeah.
And the guards, the companies, the management was called upstairs to penthouse 2018. Huh?
Mm.
And when the unions and the ministry officials downstairs are waiting for them to come back, they came down and jumped in their van and drove out.
Oh, my.
I hear there's only one member of that management team.
Yes.
Came back to the meeting, there was a man named Tesso.
Okay.
Huh?
Yes.
And I was told this by my friend Wesley Nelson, who wasn't part of that meeting.
Okay. Okay.
So, you know, if we believe that the best thing to do is to have our people being treated. Let me tell you something. There are some horror stories in the security industry. Horror stories. Some stories that are akin to slavery. Not far from slavery.
Yes.
Right? And my point is that the government of the day has a role to play.
Let me just come in here, Vincent. I'll be brief. Just to help your memory about something. I remember representing 12 ladies from Montego Bay who was dismissed by a marksman. We had a meeting at the Ministry of Labour, and the manager of marksman turned up on a lawyer named, some lawyer that had some problem with land problem last year or there. And the lawyer said to me, Mr. Francis, the only way I will listen to you this morning, you have to abandon every matter that you have in front of me, and then I will start talking to you. And the ladies get up, start fling cheer after everybody. And so you see, the intention coming to organize them these days. You need to have a lot of talk with management about all this behavior. You understand? Let them know what had happened in the past, what to expect. But long ago, the security guards were recommended for union under the with the NW and the holiday in workers. In 2002, they were given the green light. So I don't know, everybody was shunning that period, you know. So, sir, I would ask you to take a look at that, some of the things that we suffer, because all of those festering is still there. And coming out of the Giant Council, we have to hurry with it, get the management them to agree that each union represent a portion of these membership. As Vincent said in the old days, like workers at waterfront or anywhere else, you know. So it is not going to be an easy task, but I think Vincent sent me a letter with asking the Minister of Labour, who is sleeping on this issue, who is not saying anything about this issue. Right? They don't seem coming out chopping the fire about this issue. And we hope that the best will come out of it.
Okay. One of the final thing I would like to put on the raise with you, Vincent, and both of you, is that we have not heard anything further about those workers, those Canadian farm workers. You remember there was an issue about their treatment last year? But we haven't heard anything. Mr. Morrison, have you heard anything fresh about
I haven't heard anything, but I just want to say that we need to be very careful as a country. The farm worker program is an excellent program. There were problems. I salute Portia Simpson Miller because I recall the first time we went to Canada with her on a delegation, the Canadians were a bit skeptical of us. They felt that everybody was the same. And it's only when Portia started to kiss them up and use her skill that they came around. And I want to say, by the second, third time we went to Canada, you could see a marked difference.
Mm-hmm.
They start to love her, they still love Jamaica, the farmers, and the program continued to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
Nothing should be done to dismantle that program.
Yes.
Nothing should be done. And I've heard some horror story over recent times, you know, that could have caused the program to be destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
A very key element in the program is how and who we select to go on the program. You don't select people who, when they go to the United States or Canada, their first intention is to run away.
Yes.
To go what they call AWOL.
Mm-hmm.
Absence without leave. And I hear the AWOL situation has been pretty high.
Okay.
Let me say, if the minister had consulted me on this matter, I would say to the minister, there are some excellent employers in Canada, very excellent employers, but there are some very bad, rogue employers in Canada.
Okay.
So the liaison service that is paid to look after the issues of the workers,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they are supposed to be on the board.
Yes.
They are supposed to be visiting the farms to get the complaints from the workers. Right? And they are supposed to be reporting to the ministry. The ministry has a board, both for the Canadian and the US program. And I think what has happened is that there's a breakdown in communication between the liaison service, the ministry, chaired by the board, chaired by the permanent secretary. I think it's a breakdown in communication.
Okay. Okay.
And when you have breakdown in communication, you're going to have a lot of SSL. You're going to have a lot of these things. Well, let me just finally say that FinSAC, I understand that FinSAC didn't create the financial meltdown in the 90s, 80s, 90s. FinSAC didn't borrow 1 cent from a bank and refused to pay it back. FinSAC came in to help sort out the crisis.
Yes.
And I want to commend P.J. Patterson. I want to commend Omar David. And I want to chastise the People National Party because I heard the Prime Minister made a statement recently about not going to bail out any company like FinSAC and comparing FinSAC to what happens SSL. And I think the response from the People's National Party was weak because they should first remind the Prime Minister and the nation that FinSAC didn't borrow a cent from nobody.
No,
if FinSAC, the little money that the poor people in Jamaica have in the bank, that would have gone.
Yes, FinSAC.
The pension scheme, that Saget score, no. And all the other companies that control Garden Life and all of them. That would have gone. The health schemes would have gone. If FinSAC didn't step in and do what it's do, I know we would recover from the crisis.
Yes. But
I noticed there's supposed to be a report, what they call a report, or whatever report. I noticed a whole heap of money was spent to do that report, and we can't see the report. Because there are people who borrowed a lot of money and forget that they had borrowed money.
Well,
there are a lot of people who borrowed money and didn't pay back.
Well, let us hope that the investigation is going to go to the bottom of this situation, and the one of the principal aim must be to recover those monies that were stolen from depositors.
I think the new Minister of Finance has that in mind.
Yes, let us hope that is it. Gentlemen, we have to wind up our Workers' Time program this evening. I want to thank the President of the Nurses Association. I want to thank Mr. Vincent Morris. I want to thank Mr. James Francis. Gentlemen, as I said, this program belongs to us, belongs to you and the workers, and we are the ones who we design it to address these issues. So, thank you very much.
We thank you too for this arrangement.
Yes. Thank you, Vin.
Thank you for talking, sir.
All right, sir.
Vincent.
Yes.
Vincent.
Yes, sir.
Would you please mention the postal agents publicly out of your mouth?
No, we're going to find a resolution. No worries, sir.
No, but I say you have to mention it publicly too. You know what that can mean. That can
I'm going to do more than that. I'm going to go to the head.
All right.
After to talk about it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
This is refreshing.
Yes. Let us go for a break. A break.
How are you going to get this thing bigger in Jamaica? Why don't you? Probably you might have to use loudspeaker and go on the road with your van and talk about it.
Yeah, man, I'm planning.
Next time, sir, just hold a second, guys. Next time, don't just set it over here just like that. Wait until when we take on out here and discuss this. Yeah?
Yes.
Clean, so clean, from the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. Keep we island clean, so clean, from the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it.
No dash, no paper, no dash, no plastic. Dispose your garbage responsibly. No know how to recycle, learn it quick. And if you drop it, better pick up every piece of it. Plastics last forever, don't forget the bits. Cause when them touch the street, them end up in the sea. Collect pan the reef where they fish them feed. And when you want seafood, I eat your eat.
Keep island clean, so clean, from the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. No dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up
Jesus, the blessed Savior, He came to heal our land. And if you haven't heard of Him, let me tell you about this man. He said, come to me who are weak.
Jamaica.
Best decision ever.
Feel the sand between your toes and the gentle waves of the sea on your skin. Feel the warm Jamaican breeze lift your spirits and nourish your soul. Escape to exactly what makes your heart beat. You will love every moment. Jamaica, heartbeat of the world. Let's go.
He's always there for me. So no matter what the circumstances may be, no, God is always there for me. Yeah. Through the sunshine or through the rain, through the pleasure or through the pain, God is always there for me. So I met this old man. He was so poor, didn't hold no bed, so we slept on the floor. He's always smiling, never heard him complain. He said I've proven God again and again. So no matter what the circumstances may be, God is always there for me. Yeah. Through the sunshine or through the rain, through the pleasure or through the pain, God is always there for me. No matter what the circumstances may be, yeah, God is always there for me. Yeah. Through the good times or through the bad, through the happy times or through the sad, God is always there for me. The landlord wears the rent, school fee due, partner drop bombs, and the youth them need you. Friends all ask me what I'm gonna do. I smile and tell them that God will see me through. So no matter what the circumstances may be, yeah, God is always there for me. Yeah. Through the sunshine or through the rain, through the pleasure or through the pain, God is always there for me. So no matter what the circumstances may be, God is always there for me. Yeah. Through the good times or through the bad, through the happy times or through the sad, God is always there for me. I met this old man. He was so poor, he didn't hold no bed, so we slept on the floor. He's always smiling, I never heard him complain. He said I've proven God again and again. So no matter what the circumstances may be, God is always there for me. Yeah. Through the sunshine or through the rain, through the pleasure or through the pain, God is always there for me. No matter what the circumstances may be, no, God is always there for me. Yeah. Through the good times or through the bad, through the happy times or through the sad. There's no power on earth to separate me from your love, my Jesus. Nothing will be able to turn me away from you.
it for your best life. Do it. Go check your HIV status. Do it. So keep your life trending, no pretending. Me I tell yourself it, do it for you, do it for you. Every time you are link with a condom, coulda Ozzy, coulda wife, coulda be a random. Condom connect and protect your profile. Be your own fan. Do it for your best life. Do it for your best life. Do it. Don't put yourself at risk. Condom connect every time. Do it for your best life. Do it.
Well, Lord, when you're weary and feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will drive them home. Oh, well, yeah, I'm on your side. Oh, when times get rough and friends just can't be found, like a breeze over troubled water, I will lay me down like a breeze over troubled water. I will lay me down when you're down and out, when you're on the street, when evening falls so hard, I will comfort you, woman, yeah, I'll take your part. Oh, when darkness comes and pain is all around, like a breeze over troubled water, I will lay me down like a breeze over troubled water. I will lay me down. Sail on, silver bird, sail on by. Your time has come to shine. All your dreams are on their way. See how they shine. Lord, if you need a friend, I'm sailing right me like a breeze over troubled water. I will ease your mind like a breeze over troubled water. I will ease your mind like a breeze over troubled water. I will ease. It's not a broken vessel that God can't make. The thief was down to his last breath, hanging there and kept away. When he turned to
wanted to share what you know about a crime but were too afraid? At Crime Stop, we make it easy for you to report on crimes safely and 100% anonymously. All it takes is 4 simple steps. First, contact the tip line at 311 or visit www.crimestop.org or www.311tips.com. Then share what you know anonymously with one of our trained counselors. Any information related to criminal activity is accepted. We don't want to know your identity. We don't record calls or use star 69, and there is no way of tracing tips over the phone or online. You'll also be given a file number for your tip. Next, track the progress of your tip by calling our tip line at 311 and quoting your file number. Finally, if your tip leads to success, you will be eligible for a cash reward. Rewards will be paid out upon request through a trusted disbursement agency with verification process to ensure that your identity remains hidden. Share what you know anonymously. Contact Crime.
Can't even walk without you holding my hand. I thought number one would surely be me. I thought I could be what I wanted to be. I thought of myself as a mighty big man, but I can't even walk without you holding my hand. Thank you, Jesus. Can't even walk without you holding my hand. Mountains too high and the valley is too wide. Down on my knees, I've learned to stay. That I can't even walk without you holding my hand. Help me, Jesus. Ah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I thank God I made Jesus my one and all. From now on his day, I'm surely gonna call. And if I don't trust him, I'd be less than a man. Cause I can't even walk without you holding my hand. Oh Lord, can't even walk without you holding my hand. Mountains too high and the valley is too wide.